But anyway, how's been your last kind of couple of weeks with the practices and everything, and just being present?
Yeah, I talked to a lady just walking down the street the other day after our class, and she was decorating her house with Halloween stuff. I'm just like, "Hey, how you doing with everything going on in the world?" And yeah, she just had a nice chat. And she was open. I kind of share with her about maybe there's some fuckery happening with all this stuff, and she's like, "Yeah, it makes sense. And are you a Trump supporter?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know about that, but I think people are just demonizing him, and the truth may not be what we actually think." And yeah, like today I did this letting go exercise that Sham presented around desire, around letting go the book by David Hawkins. And I let go of some stuff around these women that I'm not able to see, or that they don't want to see me. And then stuff around my parents with their not agreeing with me and my choices and my spiritual path. And here I got them written down. Stuff around that, stuff around my brother-in-law and my sister, stuff around people wearing masks and not believing all the stuff going on, wanting more YouTube views, stuff, potential work. And so writing down my goals, and then just writing down, like, I let go of my judgments of people or my need for control. And then I just thought, well, what's the next step of this, of where to take action or where not to take action? Like, I'm not going to reach out to these women, and I'm going to notice when negative thoughts come up and just release them and point it out as this is my ego mind or just something that isn't serving me. So bringing it back, and also just consciously eating, attempting to just be with my food, enjoy the tastes, and not watch anything or listen to anything while I'm doing that. And yeah, practicing gratitude. I just finished the second part of this, so I'm on yeah, baby. The third part going to start soon. I posted a video that he posted about humor. It was really cool. In the chapter before that, of beware of the humorlessness. That's how they control mass societies, and that was really dope. That's something I've been searching for basically my whole life. Of like, humor is important, and yeah, I used to do a lot of comedy before all this shit happened, and yeah, man. So I met a Chilean woman the other day, approaching her on the street, and her friend, and then her and I had a really nice, fun encounter, and she's quite interested, so that's good. That was fun.
Yeah, it's an ongoing process. The trusting that what is happening is what needs to be happening, and you don't have to force anything to happen. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as you have to chase, and it's so opposite to like so many of the beliefs that I would have and teach actually years ago, especially during the the early years. But if something is truly meant to be and it's divine will, it's just going to have, like, very little effort is going to be required for it, right? You meet somebody, you have a chat, and you're like, and there's really a connection, and it's actually the divine will that you two come together in some sort of relationship, whatever that may be. It's just going to happen. You're not going to have to like chase or use maneuvers to get her to call you back. Nothing. You'll just be like, yeah, it'd just be obvious that you guys should hang, and you'd just be like, yeah, we should hang out. And you would get her info, and there wouldn't be any thought to it. It wouldn't make a difference who texted who. It would just happen. You wouldn't be thinking, well, what's a good time to call? You'd literally just be like, yeah, let's meet up and do the thing. That's it. If it's really supposed to happen, it's just going to happen. As soon as you're forcing, it's your ego that wants something, that's trying to make something happen, which you can't do. You can't make anything happen. It doesn't exist. You can go along with what's actually supposed to happen, or you can resist it, and you can believe you can make things happen, but actually it's all fucking part of the illusion. So, and it's just a continual process. Like literally today, I flew for a week. I'm a little bit, discombobulated, and Toronto's really heavy and whatever. So I'm not in my super blissed out, woo-woo space that I usually am. I'm fine, but I'm not there. And so I get back and I'm just like, there's all these things that I have to do, many, many things that divine inspirations. Like this, and all things I know I'm going to do them all. But because until I actually take the time to really sit and really tune in and go, okay, what is for the highest? What is the most important thing in the benefit for the service of all beings can I do today in this moment? And when I really sit and feel, that will come, and then I go, okay, that's what I'm doing now. Trying to go, oh, should I work on this aspect of my business or this, or I should do it. It's the mind thinking, oh, I need to do something and be seen. No, it's always going to be the flow in the highest for all beings. What's the best thing for me? Because always. So it's a constant practice. And as soon as I start deciding I'm going to do something or make something happen, I just, no, I'm not. I'm going to sit and breathe and be present and really feel and wait till that divine inspiration and knowing comes of like, this is what it is that you need to be doing now that's your highest. And sometimes it's depending on what, where people are in their lives. If you really are present, if there's something you need to do that's really uncomfortable that you haven't done, that will come. For example, you need to break up with your business partner, or you need to get out of this fucking shitty relationship. That's going to come. Even though you might have been like, oh, I just want to tune in to see how I should live my day. No, if that's the thing that needs to happen, that's what's going to come up when you really get centered. It's going to come, you're in a wrong relationship. You need to dump this person. Oh no, I don't want to do that. I'll just keep suffering and keep living my life. Okay, good. You continue doing that. So whatever needs to be is going to come through, Yeah.
So this tuning in process, is that just meditating and sitting in silence, and then something like, what does that communication look like?
Well, I think it's different for everybody depending on how many layers of ego death have you gone through, how much ego there is. The more ego there is, the difficult it is to listen to that part of you which is not ego, right? You guys still got a lot of ego, hard to listen to the infinite one creator, which is you, but if that voice is like a little mosquito, and the ego is like, you need to make money, you need to fuck bitches, you need to do all, the ego is fucking, the ego is big, very hard to listen to that voice of God up here. But so as it gets smaller, it's much more easier. So for me, it's not that hard. I just sit down and go, what am I doing? It's there. It's literally there. There's nothing. It's not hiding anymore, because the ego has been destroyed to such a degree. It's just like this the ego now is very, very tiny, like a mosquito, and has no power. I just see it there and I go, oh yeah, but it doesn't has any power anymore. It's there, but it's just like, whatever, fuck off. I identify more as all of it, everything, everyone, then that is the truth. So the ego is just like a joke. It's like, fuck off. It doesn't mean anything. So obviously everybody's different where they're at in their journey of awakening. The destination is the same, but where we're at is very, very different. So yeah, some people might have to make a big effort and be there for an hour and whatever, just to get a moment of peace and clarity and maybe a little bit of inkling of what they're supposed to do. And other people can just sit down for the 3-minute meditation and go, okay, that's all I needed for the day. I know exactly what I'm doing. I feel great, and I'm at it. And sometimes some people, I mean, fuck, I've been at points where I don't need to do anything. I'm always it. I've been weeks of just literally, I am that full presence. No meditation is required. And it's just God doing things through me. And there's no one here deciding anything. And that's been happening the last couple of years, So yeah, so it's very different for everybody. But until you get to those more advanced stages, or more accurately to say, until you're at those points where there's just less of you, the person. That's why everything's a valuable tool, right? Qigong, meditation, reading spiritual books, listening to high fucking Krishna Das or whatever, music that brings you to God, taking small doses of magic mushrooms, everything, anything that brings you to that still point where you're there is great. And that's part of the journey, is finding like what helps you get to that point where you can actually shut the fucking ego up for a moment and actually be with God. What can you do to get there? And as you find the ways that you can get there, that's all this course has been, right? Here's a couple of ways. Here's another way. Here's another way you could get. It's literally me just going, try everything, right? Try everything, And even if all the things you try, even if just fucking one thing, you go, yep, that seems to work for me. I'm able to do this and actually connect. Well, that's your fucking change your whole life. Because from there, that minute of silence you get from maybe one practice will turn into 2, will turn into 5, will turn into 10. And eventually it starts becoming your practice for your daily life. That's why I was giving you, the homeworks where it's like, bring it in every conversation, be fully listening. Every time you eat, be fully present. When you're walking, walk slow, be fully present. And so eventually that 1 minute you're able to get with one of the practices turns into every day. You're just there every day. And if you're really there every day, well, what's the point of meditation? There would be no difference between you reading your book or walking or eating or making love, or you're sitting there like this trying to meditate. What's the point? There's no point. There's nobody there deciding. You're just in the flow and you're very present, and there's no need to meditate. So at some point meditation is pointless. Yeah, but it's a long journey,
Yeah, I notice my mind a lot. Like right when I wake up, I'm kind of concerned about the worldly problems, and I'll be upset with members of my family or friends or what people might think of me when I put out this kind of stuff. And yeah, I don't know if, I guess should I just keep trying out different methods, or yeah, I don't know. I feel directionless. I feel like I'm in a uncertain phase.
Well, at least you're in a phase. Most people, there are no phases. They're just miserable and mediocre every day. So being in a phase implies you're in a process that may actually get you somewhere, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's good that you're in a phase because, it's good. As long as you hold strong the intention for your liberation, things will keep shifting and coming into your reality that will help you with that. Books, music, people, different practices, and you don't really have to worry about it that much. Just literally know you're in your process of awakening. It's happening, and sometimes you have no fucking idea it's happening. It doesn't feel like you're making any progress. You don't know what's going on. You're confused. You're like, at some point you think, what the fuck is the point of all this? I should just go back to doing hookers and blow. Fuck this. Sure, you'll have all those thoughts, and those literally all of it. And other times, fuck it, I'm going to go to a mountain. There's no point in being in the fucking world. I'll just go live in a fucking hut somewhere. And other times it will be like peace and bliss and ecstasy, and everything is one, and it's fucking wonderful, and you want that to go on forever. It's all part of it,
Yeah.
The once you're on the path though, and you understand liberation is possible, and you're actually moving in that direction, in a way, you never have to worry about anything because your success is guaranteed. And that's a really important thing to remember. You can't, even those who aren't actually consciously on it, their success is guaranteed too, but they don't know it yet. See, you know about liberation, enlightenment is real, and you're moving towards it, and therefore for you, it's inevitable. It's inevitable. The freedom and the peace of liberation is your destiny. And just rest in that. Just know that's what it is. That's your destiny. The only thing you can really change is, how you get there, how much you want to really put efforts into certain things, how much you want to try certain things, how much you trust in the process, how much fun you're having with it, which way you decide to go, all these things, but as long as the intention, you're resting in it and it's there and you're moving in that direction, it's okay. You feel confused, good. Have a week and sit around and be fucking confused and don't know what's going on. So what? Don't get attached even to that, because that's ego too. Who's confused and frustrated? Your ego. God isn't, infinite consciousness isn't confused. Right? It's just your fucking ego. So everything you're going through, it's just your fucking ego. Ignore it. Don't worry about it. But that's actually the path. Dropping the ego literally is enlightenment. So, so the more you can don't be fussed by it. Don't be affected by it. Just continue on. Just see it for what it is. It's not you. It's this creation that's just there, causing up a fuss.
Yeah. And it's just, I'll forget that it's all a divine plan, and I can forget, oh, this woman would reach out to me if it was meant to be in this stuff. So it's like,
Of course, we forget. We have, even when we have really, really deep, profound experiences that are mind-blowing.
yeah,
I mean, literally, even after having full self-realization experiences where literally there was only God and no Sasha, just God, for days of people turning to me and asking me shit. And I'm like, who are you asking? The person called Sasha, or like all it is, consciousness? Because and I wasn't being funny. I was just fully aware that they think I'm the person and I'm not. So I'm like, who are you talking to? You know, and so days of that, and even after those experiences, months later, being like, oh, this guy's a fucking asshole. I don't want to, fuck this. You know what I mean? Like, and literally, just, it's not like I don't know, but just like I haven't fully embodied it yet, and therefore, you're still able to be unhappy or suffer or whatever. So even knowing the truth is not fully embodying it and fully living it. You know what I'm saying? And it takes multiple fucking experiences of dying and dying and dying and merging with God before your default state is becoming resting in that peace and bliss, and very little of that little voice of like maybe. So that's kind of, now it's pretty much, it's pretty much that. There's very little of the, though still it happens. The mind will start off on something and I'll go, why am I thinking about it? There's not point. There's only the now. That's not now. So fuck that. And it just come back here. It's just much easier. And yeah. And there's no real fear or worry or any of that shit, because it's just doesn't exist, because the perfection of God is all there is. But the mind is still to some degree there. Yeah. Until it's not.
so what is this creation of the mind and the ego versus the self and love? Is this just like the game that was created for us to learn lessons and to live as human beings in this way?
Yeah, basically this whole reality is literally a school for self-realization. So God just went, it'll be really fun because I'm everything and eternal. Let's just break up and go into like infinite, all these characters that will forget that they're God, and then we'll put them in this planet over here. And there's lots of versions, but this particular game is, we'll create a planet. It's going to be ego and evil shit going on, really fucked, and everyone's going to forget that they're God. But they're all going to be, of course, guided, because it's still God. And the point of the game is to literally remember who you are, remember you're this infinite being, and then like merge back with the full glory of God. And that would be the fucking craziest game ever. And God went, yeah, I want to play that game. And then that's the Big Bang. That's literally the Big Bang. Was God going, fuck it, let's play. Yeah. And so, yeah. So what happened over here, literally in that bathtub, like, I don't know, July 28th. So I guess it's coming up on July, August, September 20. I was over 2 months ago now, 2 months and a week or something. Yeah. Like Sasha merged back with the creator. And there was literally, there wasn't any Sasha anymore. It was just the creator. And it was pretty freaky. It was really intense. It was screaming and crying and like me freaking out. It was insane. It was intense. When you really merge back, it's like, it's so intense. It's like beyond explanation. I got to do a whole podcast about it, but it's just like, it's going to be a fucking nutty podcast. But yeah, screaming, crying, swearing at God, cursing God, like freaking the fuck out, tears of joy, like all of it happening, because it's like, it's the suffering that you come out of when you pop out. It's like, it's so intense. And when you come out of it, I was angry at God that I was sent and separated to do all this suffering. It's quite traumatic. It's like, fuck you. You sent me through this shit. Are you fucking kidding? Like, it was anger. It was really intense. But that's it. That was one of the later, I mean, the thing is, and I can never say, for me, it's like, well, I'm free. There's no more suffering. But there's more levels coming. There's more layers coming, right? So it's never, I don't think it's ever over. It's literally never over. But there is a point at which the suffering is finished. Yeah. And that point is, I've passed that point. So there's no more negative thoughts or worries or concerns. Everything is always unfolding perfectly. And I might get caught up in, I have to do this or I have to do that because it's part of my passion, waking people up. But even that, as soon as I sit down and go, do I really have to wake anyone up? No, because everyone is God. So what's the difference? There's nothing. They can't not wake up. It's just like, so even me playing the character and teaching and doing all the things, it's fun and it's why I'm here. And at the same time, I can let go of even that, because it's just God is going to wake up. its own bits perfectly. Like there's no, if somebody really needs to hear from me, believe me, they're going to find my channel, or they're going to find me and whatever. So I don't, it's my ego going, I got to go out there and do more things to help more people. Do I really? Do I? Or do I just have to keep doing my bliss and joy? And the people who are supposed to find me, they're just going to find me because it's God running everything. It's not me. And as soon as I fall back into that, then the peace comes again. As soon as I'm thinking, oh, I got to do all the things. As soon as I go, no, I don't. Because God is. Literally all there is God. I'm just that, but in this one form. All I can really do is the specific things that this body has been come here to do, which is making these videos and, doing my podcast and doing stand-up comedy, all the things that I'm uniquely, that are my, and it's easy to know what those things are. If it's your highest joy and passion and it's the most exciting thing for you, those are the things you're supposed to be doing. Everything else, you don't have to worry about. That everything else is happening automatically, just like your heart is beating, your breath is, all the things your body is doing. Are you running that shit? You're not running, you're not doing anything. It's all happening automatically. You making sure your eyes are blinking the right amount so that your fucking eyeballs don't dry out and fall out of your head? You're making sure your heart, the pressure coming out of your heart and your blood is the right amount? Because if it goes a little bit too much, literally, if it goes out of sync, your heart explodes and you fucking die. You're making sure that's all running good today, buddy? No, it's all happening. Everything's just happening. So we're just here to play this fun game and just do our excitement, have a good time, and wake up. And it's the greatest waking. It's literally everyone on the planet. They only actually want one thing: to be reunited with God, to know the truth, to literally just to go back to source and go and just be that. And they're looking for it in all the wrong places: drugs, sex, booze, having money, whatever, all of it. Nothing can ever. There's just nothing can ever heal the separation wound, the part where we separated from God and we came over here and we had an ego and now we think we need to survive and we got to hustle all this. The only way to end that suffering is to drop the ego and remember your God. There's no other way. There is no other way. I mean, I wish there isn't. You can alleviate the suffering. Oh yeah, sure. You'll feel better when you have $10 million in the bank account. Yeah, you'll feel better. Life will be a bit easier. You're still going to suffer though, and yeah, you'll feel better having sex with lots of beautiful models. Sure, it'll be fun and everything, and you might learn some things, but ultimately you're still going to be separate from God. It's still not going to fill that hole. You might even have a great life and be successful and people like you and everything's good. But as long as the ego is there and you're not really doing God's work, there's always going to be some level of suffering and something and wanting, even thinking that there's death, even just believing that you're going to die one day. That's very stressful. You know how stressful that is, thinking you're going to die. That's fucking stressful. You exist and one day you're not going to be here. That's fucking, so now you're in a rush. You got to try and do all the things and have fun and milk your life for everything you can quickly. You're wasting time. You got to fucking do all the things because you're not going to be here. You could be dead tomorrow. No, you can't be dead tomorrow. You can never be dead because what you are was never born and it can never die. You're literally all that is forever and ever and ever. That's you. This is just one moment. So what? Doesn't matter.
So the waking up process, though, is basically through suffering or through going through like removals of ego, and that's generally painful, right? Is there like an easy? I don't think there's.
Is there an easy way to wake up? I mean, it depends. Everyone's so different, right? There are stories of people who, like one master, was it Ramana or I can't remember. But anyway, one master literally, I think it was Ramana Maharishi, but I could be wrong. He literally fell over, tripped and fell over, whacked his head, and was enlightened. And you think, well, what the fuck is that? Well, he'd been working towards enlightenment and been enlightened in other lifetimes, so his fucking enlightenment IQ was pretty fucking high. He was just destined for it, so it just happened. Boom, that's just what was supposed to happen for him. Done, no work involved. There's so many paths. I can only talk about what happened for me, and that's it. That's all I can really talk about. But everyone is heading there, and suffering seems to be the catalyst. Many people, it's always the bottom of the bottom of the worst, where you're fucked. That's when you turn to God and go, fuck, if there is a God, fucking help me. And you start praying. And then when you really start praying, you have that intention for help and to wake up, and a miracle happens. Then you're like, holy fuck. And then your whole life changes because you realize you're not alone and you're not by and there is a higher power. And, at that level, there's still a higher power in you. And so therefore you believe in God and you start changing your life. And, eventually there's not even all the higher powers are also you. So there ceases to be a separation of, like, it's weird, but like, I was always praying and talking to God. And after the last big ones, who the fuck am I praying to? You're talking to yourself. So even though there's a higher aspect, it's still so yourself. You're just like, it's just you. You're just literally like talking to another version of you. It's like, ultimately, there's actually no difference me talking to you and me talking to God. It's literally just another reflection, right? This level, that level, it's all you, it's all me. We're all one. Doesn't fucking matter. But it's fun. It's fun to pretend. And that's the fun of the divine union, when masculine meets feminine and they're doing the work together and they're meeting each other. It's literally just God meeting God in different forms and then healing each other. And remember, that is the joy of coming together. That's what's so amazing. You're coming together, and you're becoming one. So you're already one, then you separate into two, and then you come back and you become one again. That sounds fun, right? And you get to do it with your penis and a vagina, which doesn't suck. So that's actually that's actually what going out there and finding your partner is supposed to be about, finding that divine union, the being you're going to literally attain enlightenment with in the divine union. The divine masculine, divine feminine, being totally present, honest, loving each other, healing each other. It's amazing. I mean, I've just been in this relationship for a short period, and it's fucking amazing. It's just beyond words. It's beyond words. It's wild.
Yeah. So this masculine feminine is a game that was created. That was part of my awakening, was going through a really horrible breakup and just feeling like I couldn't believe my life could be this horrible, and then getting really into the red pill stuff with dating, and then having sex with a lot of women, and then finding Josh Hudson a year and a half later, quitting porn, and then just kind of like being with myself again. And then finally, 7.5 months of celibacy was just broken. And then it was like, oh, this is a fun sexual experience again. I'm open to, and I want a relationship, a divine relationship. And I definitely see that as inevitable. And I guess I had to go through all that ego shit of just having a lot of sex and being really angry at this one person, and women in general seems like a big teacher. And now I'm meeting all these women who seem to have psychic abilities and just this deep intuition and love and ability to, create in different ways. It's just very interesting and surprising.
Yeah, dude, we're all, I mean, that's my story too, right? The whole thing with women. But yeah, it's all exactly what we needed. We're always getting the exact medicine we need for our awakening. That's literally what the game is, because it's like, it's us running the whole show, that we've literally created all this perfectly. So your life, everything is literally, you're being given everything perfectly for your awakening. And as soon as you see that and you recognize it and go, oh, it's all happening perfectly, great. How do I learn the lessons even faster so I can develop even faster? Then you can start going light speed. When you accept the perfection of everything, and you learn all the lessons as they're coming up. Every time something happens, you just sit and go, why is this happening? What am I supposed to learn here? Oh, okay. Oh, that's what it, and you get it. And you're like, oh, that's the lesson. Literally, as soon as you get the lesson, the teaching is over. So the suffering or whatever bullshit situation is, it ends. Crazy story, one random story, but I have a bunch of these. Yeah, one time, me and this girl, we basically left all our stuff in an Airbnb, everything, laptop, phone, everything. And she had the key. She had the key to the apartment in her back pocket. We're walking around, we go to the beach. Key disappears. So we're in a foreign city, key's gone. And it couldn't have fallen. It was like, it's jean pocket there that's tight. So it's all the way at the bottom, like that. There's no hole in the jeans. Like, how would that fucking key have fallen out? Like somebody pickpocketed, like she would have felt the hand going in her ass. Like, it doesn't make sense. The whole thing was weird. And we're just like, and we go back and we're looking everywhere. And I borrowed someone's phone to try and contact our landlord to let us into the thing. And I realized like that I can't even contact anyone or do anything. Like like if someone were to steal those devices, I realized, like my phone and my computer, I actually may never be able to get into any of my accounts. I realized like the way I have it set up, you know, because I just realized, because I was trying to log in and it's asking me to text, you know, to text virtually and to email all the things. Like I actually realized, oh, if I don't fix the way I have my shit set up, I could be totally fucked if I actually lost all my devices. Like I'd literally never be able to enter my email. A lot of things would be fucked. And I got that and I was like, holy fuck, that's really intense. And I realized that I was realizing it, and then we couldn't find the key anywhere. And I actually stopped and I said, what is the thing? Why is this happening? What's the lesson here? And then I really took that deeper. And when I really got that, oh, I need to do this. I need to set things up differently because I could lose all my shit. And I felt into it. And I'm like, is that actually the lesson I was supposed to get here? That I need to make like a random email address that's only for two-factor identification that things will go to. So if I lose all my devices, I can go to anyone's computer from any IP and just access. And is that actually the lesson? And I got like, yeah, that's actually what you're supposed to understand. And then I'm like, oh, okay. And then I literally said, okay, if that's the lesson, you know, then give us the key back, because there's no need for the lesson to continue. And as soon as I did that, literally, we walked for 30 seconds and boom, key was right there. Key was literally, there's a crosswalk, and literally on this big piece of cement, the key was just sitting there on the side. We'd already searched that fucking street, literally right before. We'd already searched that whole area. There was nothing there. And then we'd literally start walking back. And as soon as I had the lesson, the key just magically appears and it's just sitting there. And she's like, yeah, the key's right there. I'm like, that key was not there 5 minutes ago. She's like, I know. There's no fucking way that key was there 5 minutes ago. No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Shit like that. And I've had other many things, many things. So sometimes when you know, yeah, mystical, weird, crazy, miraculous shit is it's going to happen. It just tends to happen in ways that won't shatter the reality of other people who are not ready for that awakening. It'll happen to you because you need that lesson and it's your experience. And so I could go tell that story and people can believe it or not, but it's not going to fuck them up. You see what I'm saying? It's just I got the lesson. I get it. I can explain, but no one's awakening is going to be triggered or fucked up because I had a disappearing key. People will just be like, okay, people can believe it or not, but it's not going to fuck anyone up. So that's kind of the rules of the game. I can't do anything that will fuck with your awakening. You're coming to me and you want me to help you. Well, then I can help you because we you know, I've got your permission. You know, you're a sovereign being, but I can't force it on anybody. And that's one of the rules. And so God on the highest level plays that way too. You'll get certain miraculous things happening for you, but they're not going to fuck with anyone else. They're not meant for anybody else. They're for you, you know?
Yeah. So I got a question about basically like having doubts or just like being skeptical of myself or questioning, like, is this really the lesson, or like, is this really okay for me to do this? Like, I think I have that belief, and then people will be like, you know, you should consider the other point of view, or you shouldn't be so into all this spiritual conspiracy stuff. And I see it like, well, for me, it feels like I'm just pointing out in my own mind that, oh, that they're running this program and that's what they're doing, or really like they're concerned for me and they want me to consider another point of view so I don't just get entrenched in one specific point of view. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah, just always follow, but just you can always listen to other people. But the thing is, internally, we always know the truth, right? We always know the truth. It's just like people are so confused they can't even listen. So once you get, that's part of the process, is actually listening to the higher self and knowing what that is. So then it doesn't matter what other people are saying. It's like you can listen to other people all day, but you know, once you really know the truth, people can blab all day long. It doesn't really make any difference, you know? Yeah.
Just trust my own gut.
Yeah, of course, because your gut is it, because like that's literally your direct connection to source, which is like through feeling, you know, that's how we get it. That's how we know.
All right. Cool, man.
Mighty God.
Very good.
Very nice. So I suppose, yeah. So you got your own personal call. Good for you.
Dope, man.
F those guys, man. Don't come in for the call. They lose out. You win.
Shits. Yes,
Right.
I am the number one shit.
You are number one poop meister.
Cool, man. All right.
Very good. Well, I'm going to go and enjoy I've been fasting, so I'm going to have a little bevy. Then I'm going to work. We got things to do. I got things to do. I gotta do the things.
All right.
I'm
I
excited.
have self things to do.
Yes, let's go do our things and take over the world. But let's both do a little meditation after this. So as soon as we hang up, let's just chill the fuck out and tune in.
All right.
Okay.
Cool, man.
Okay, I'm sending you big kiss, love. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Thank you, brother.
I'll see you in the group.
All right, man.
Persh. I love you.
Appreciate it.
Mwah.